Shalom, everybody. This is Dave from Universal Truth of Mankind. I am your host, and this is Kabbalah 201. I hope you watched the previous video in which I talked about the path of truth. We cannot attain truth. We can only work towards the truth. And this is displayed in our Kabbalah 301, where we are discussing very topics. And that's why we're always asking questions. But you probably also noticed something else. We are constantly throwing things into the pot that seem sort of, well, a little different. Like we'll talk about frequencies in a minute. We'll talk about health. We'll talk about the idea of spirituality, physicality, the souls. We'll even talk about things that we talk about life on other planets, and so on and so forth. We try to use our discussion and we try to connect points. We try to bring everything to the table and try to create a tapestry of understanding. Now, sometimes we may be discussing things what may not be true, and that's definitely a case, but that doesn't mean there aren't elements of truth within that information. Sometimes we may talk about ABC, but A, B, and C only have a puzzle here or a piece of truth. But when we put the three together, we are on the path of truth. And we do that obviously by questioning, as you will note in a previous video. But it's also very important for us to throw things on the table because the three of us, find that we're in sync with each other, but we're on totally different paths. All three of us have a totally different way of looking at things, a totally different experience, a totally different thought process. And so when we come together, we're creating a more beautiful, full picture, which gets us closer and closer to truth. I've seen many times where I will want to talk to somebody about something, and I'll test the waters and I'll throw just slightly an odd topic out. Just see how they respond. And they respond positively, then I keep going. But if they respond negatively, I'll stop there. But some people just don't want to talk about certain things because they got their blinders on and they know the truth. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to hear what that person has to say, and so on and so forth. I'll give you a perfect example. And this may uptight people, but I'm going to say it. Look at the political world right now. If I bring up and say, well, the right does have a point. I'm lucky to be alive by the right. They're by the left. I go to the left. I go to the right and I say, the left has some good points. And most of the time, I've noticed, most of the time, I mean like 99% of the time so far, people are like, oh, really? Let me hear a little bit about that. And then what I do is I take my points that I bring up from the left and the right, and I bring them to a balance and I talk about something. See, the left and right when it comes to politics are extremes. Most of us are somewhere in the middle. Only a very small percentage are far left, far right. Most of us function in the middle, so we have to have a balance of the information. And that gets us closer and closer to truth. And it helps us to be on the path of truth. I hope this helps. Have a great week. And shalom, shalom, everybody.